Hello there, Vanessa, Lanham-Day here, and I don't know about you, it's new term, isn't it? The kids have all just gone back to school, and you may have not seen me around for a while, and I will admit to have taken a bit of time off over the summer, but new energy, new term, got to get back to it and start getting the message out there. And I'm doing this video for you today from what I very poshly describe as our garden consulting room. You may otherwise have spotted it is in fact a conservatory, and it's a conservatory we're planning on changing. We've been at this house for 20 years in fact in total, and we got the conservatory really early on and we use it a lot and we love it, but life's moved on and those bifold doors have made an appearance in our lives, haven't they, and their ability to open the house into the garden. So we've made a decision, we're going to knock this down and we're going to pretty much double the size of it, and we're going to have a whole new development that goes a bit further across the back of the house, integrates with the kitchen, and the doors are going to open onto the garden. It's all going to be rather magnificent. I do a lot of my work in here with clients. It's a really nice space, really bright and airy, looking out to the garden and getting lots of inspiration. So you know, it'll give us a lot of pleasure personally, but it'll also be something, a really good place for my clients to spend time. Now, anybody who knows me will know I really struggle to disassociate what goes on in my personal life from what goes on in my professional life. I keep spotting those metaphors and analogies and lessons and what have you. And it was really hard not to notice there's three particular areas that we've been working on with this conservatory or the new garden room. And it's really struck me that the miserable state of sales process for most small business owners. It's shocking. I mean, sales process almost doesn't exist. So I'll give you the examples. So number one, these bifold doors, I mean, they're not cheap. Anybody that's gone down that road will tell you. So we're having bifold doors, we're having what they call ceiling lanterns going up here to bring light down into the room, and the whole rest of the conservatory is having all brand new windows, all going to match in. It's going to cost something in the region of 15 grand. It's not a cheap, but I mean, it's a large part of the construction. They're beautiful doors and they're made to last and they glide and they practically open and close themselves. So it's not a cheap thing to do. So first of all, we went all the way, in fact, up to near Marlow, near High Wycombe, to go look at the people whose doors we'd chosen. They're kind of the Rolls Royce, and they were fantastic. I have to say, we were there nearly an hour and a half. A really fabulous young lady who took us all through the showroom and showed us all the bits, helped us design and nail down exactly the structure that we wanted and why some things would work and some things wouldn't work. We came away massively more knowledgeable. But really interestingly, at no point in any of the process did she ask who we were. We have walked away from there and she saw the amount that we were planning on spending, but at no point did she ask for our name, our details, when the project was going to happen. Now, they don't sell direct, they only sell through distributors. But they could have offered to take our details and pass them on to the distributors, couldn't they? But they haven't done that, so she has no idea who we are. Now, the fact is we have picked up that ball and we have carried on with it, and we've contacted 2 distributors locally to us, well, within about 10 or 15 miles. And interestingly, we've had a very quick response from one of them, who apologised straight away for the delay, because it took him a couple of days to come back to us. But since then, there's been a constant exchange of emails and refining and suggesting things and how it could work. We're now booked in to go up to their showroom and they can show us some ideas. He said, can we offer to do the roof lanterns as well, because the door people don't do those? Well, yes, please, cost those in. Really, really helpful. We first emailed that guy 2 weeks ago. The other people still have not so much as acknowledged our request for information. We sent them the drawings, we sent them a spec that was going to cost about 15 grand, and to this day we've had no reply. I even phoned them last week and said, can I just check, did you get our email? And she went away, oh yes, we've got that, it's on the pile, we'll get to it. Okay, could you not perhaps acknowledge that? She said, well, we will get round to it, don't worry. And here we are over 2 weeks later and we've still heard nothing. Now you decide, how likely are we to work with those people? You know, the way they treat customers, the kind of respect they're showing of the fact I want to spend money with them. And to be honest, even if they came back cheaper at this point, I would be pretty reluctant to want to use them. Another example, a fireplace. We want a rotating wood burning fire, one that can focus into this part of the room at some part of the year, but maybe in the evenings in the summer we want it focus out there into the garden, and you can get them on a rotating stand. So we went to see a big local supplier, and they do the range. They didn't have the exact one that we wanted. Again, we were in there about an hour, lots of questions, but we left and they had no idea who we were. They didn't ask us for any details. They didn't offer us their guide to installing wood burning stoves in conservatory book, or things to think about when you're installing a wood burning fire. They didn't offer to come out and do a site survey. Absolutely nothing. We've subsequently contacted, I think it's 6 others, because we want to see the actual fire. So I've contacted 6 other suppliers who do that range. We have had replies back from all of them, in fairness, varying degrees of speed. Again, the first one back apologised for the delay. The others took up to 2 weeks to reply. But again, not a single one of them has taken it any further. They've given us a price and they've left it at that. They've all said a site survey is an option, but nobody's pursued us for one. No one's offered us any guidelines on what to look out for. They've not asked us when our project date is. And I just find that bizarre. Why wouldn't you help people move to the next stage? Now, the third stage is the builder, and we've had a few recommendations. So yesterday, in fact, I sent off 4 different emails to people asking for prices. We've got very detailed drawings, so a very clear spec. I have the benefit, the other half, Steve, those of you who know him, is a civil engineer, so he knows quite a lot about this kind of thing. So really precise drawings. 24 hours in, we've heard nothing from any of them, but that's not too bad. So it's really going to be a kind of watch this space and see how they deal with us, because certainly with a builder, whilst price is important, of course it is, it's a big project, the way they choose to deal with me will in fact be so much part of the deal, how I choose the supplier, because of the respect that they show me, how they deal with me, because that will tell me a lot about how they might choose to deal with us come next spring when all this is underway. So like I say, that one's a work in progress. So the question to you is, what's your sales process? Because it, to me, doesn't make any sense. You take all that trouble to get a lead through the door, to get someone inquiring, and then there's no real solid process for reeling them in and getting the sale. And there's no shame in it, is there, asking for the money? It's not a case of pressure selling or selling people things that they don't want. But if people want to buy, make it easy for them to do that. They can always say no, we don't want to go all American and heavyweight or double glazing and all the rest of it. We just want to make it easy for people to do the next thing, and people will take a next step if you tell them what it is. But if you make them do all the running, it just gets a lot harder for them to do business with you and for them to say yes. And they may be making that decision between you and another supplier, and they may well be deciding the person who is just that much more positive is more likely to get the business. So my challenge to you is, look at that sales process, decide how compelling it is. If you were on the receiving end of that, how likely would you be to buy? So with that thought in mind, I will invite you, anybody that feels their sales process needs a good overhaul, give me a call. Let's set up one of my butt kicker marketing focus calls, and I can get you a bit of clarity on all of that. I've always got plenty to say about how people do these things, so do let me have a look. And good luck until we speak again soon. Bye bye.